it had been quite well reported, I think, that Wood were probably done after this year. And obviously, I mean, they made it quite obvious when he took the RLIF job. About 2 days later, they announced it, I think, like Sunday night about 10:30, that he took that job 2 days later. So that had clearly been in the works for a while anyway. He wanted that top job rather than the RFL. I think at this point we do need a bit of a change. I think it's the right time to throw some fresh ideas in. We can't afford to. I think we're in a good spot, really. I think after last year, I'll think about it, like 2017. I think it's in terms of Super League. I don't think the quality as such was up there. I don't think it was like a real vintage year in terms of quality overall. I mean, Castleford had the moments, as did Wakefield, Salford, St Helens towards the end, Leeds. But overall, I don't think it was the best. But it was a season that had a lot of excitement. And I think fan enjoyment was right up there. I think it certainly ended on a bit of a high with the playoffs and all that kind of thing. And then you went into the World Cup with all the stories. You had plenty there. And I think we kind of need to keep that ball rolling now. We've got a little bit of momentum. We can't afford that to really stop.
Yeah, I think if you're looking at it as a time for change, I think there's no better time. As you say, There's obviously the hype around the World Cup that there was, and some of the games we saw towards the end of the Super League season, I just said, were probably up there with some of the best games, especially the semi-finals. But I think if there's a time to change, it probably is now. It's probably not, in my opinion, the best way. Looks like a lot of uncertainty, like coming into the new season, and these changes are still looking to be made. Obviously, we've still got 3 or 4 weeks. Who knows what could happen. But some of the people being linked with taking over that role are possibly Eddie and Barry Hearn. Obviously, big names outside of rugby league, but big names in terms of sport. And met with a bit of optimism and pessimism on Twitter, a lot of different opinions of it. But could they be the fresh face needed?
I personally love the idea of either of the two, whether it be Barry or whether it be Eddie. But I love the idea of them coming in because, I mean, the last 10, 15 years, you look at darts, look at snooker, boxing especially, everything they touch turns to gold at the moment. And I mean, you can't get too much for a good thing. And I'd love to see them take over. I'd love to see Matchroom take on Super League and see what they can do with it. I can't really see it realistically happening right now. They've got a lot on, to be fair. I think they've said that themselves. That's kind of where the pessimism comes from. They've got a lot on. I don't think, especially, you look at Super League with, 3 weeks out from the start of the season, I don't think, even if they came in now, even the Hearns couldn't really do a great deal in 3 weeks, But that's my main issue with all this, to be honest. I don't mind that we're having a bit of a reshuffle, and I think it could be a very, very important time for Rugby League, one of the most important since 96 probably. But I would have liked to see these changes happen, the day after the World Cup final. I don't really want to see it 3 weeks out because we're at a point now where it looks like the clubs are kind of taking control almost. That's what it reads like, and which is all well and good, certainly for Super League clubs, not necessarily the Championship clubs who might be getting left behind. But for those Super League clubs, sure, if that's what they want to do, that's fine. But reading Michael Carter's comments in the League Weekly this morning, it doesn't appear that we're going to really find out what changes are going to be made until the season's already begun, which is pretty farcical, to be honest. Because, I mean, there's talk of potentially 14 teams in the league next year, which would open the door to Toronto, most likely. Potentially New York after that when they join the Championship, allegedly. Which is all well and good, but how can you start a season not knowing how many teams are going to be in the same division the year after? That's absolutely ridiculous. Imagine the Premier League, say, Roman Abramovich turning around 2 weeks before the start of the Premier League season. We might have 22 teams next year, but we're not sure. Let's just start playing and see what crack is.
I think the whole uncertainty argument is probably one everyone's looking at and thinking, no, this could be the thing that holds the sport back.
Yeah.
Because trying to bring new fans into Super League, it's not the easiest competition at the moment to explain what's going on.
Well, you can't, can you? That's the thing, you can't. No.
And even in terms of the playoffs and stuff, I think it works, sort of. I know there's a lot of negativity around the £1 million game.
Yeah.
And not actually the biggest fan of that. But, that's confusing. And then, who's in charge? And then we don't know what's going to be happening next. We don't know that either. And,
that's it. I mean,
once the change is coming, I think it should be better for the sport, hopefully. I can't imagine it really... If we get the right man involved, I can't see it going backwards. I think it's a time to go forwards for me.
Yeah, I think that's the thing in terms of a CEO, because obviously we've lost Roger Draper as well, the Super League CEO, so both organisations have lost their head man. So there's 2 positions to fill as well. I just don't want to see a usual suspect, one of the same old faces. I think it definitely needs someone fresh, someone probably, even someone who doesn't even have that much of a grasp of rugby league potentially. Someone from something way different, someone from world of football, world of tennis, golf, whatever. I think we just need someone with a complete blank slate in terms of rugby league. He needs to take a look at it from a distance and go, right, where are we going wrong here? Where are we going wrong? And like I say, but it needs to be wrapped up pretty quickly because, like I say, we're going into a season. I mean, say there's going to be 14 teams next year and we find out in, March, April? I mean, it's not a great start. I mean, we talk about the structure now, like the middle eights, what have you. It's interesting that there's a lot of different opinions on the Super 8s and the middle 8s, but at least last season we knew what was going on.
Yeah.
And we knew what to expect. It kind of worked. We had a team go up, team go down. The Super 8s were pretty good, I thought, overall. The middle 8s had the thrills and spills kind of thing. So, I mean, what they're suggesting this year, I mean, they can't just not do a Super 8s this year because the fixtures are out there. They've got to do it.
Yeah.
So is it going to be like the middle 8s and the top 6 go up, stay up? We just need that clarity. We need to know what's going on.
Yeah, and for the clubs involved, like, you think, obviously no club wants to say they're involved, but, like, people, they need to know this for their own future as well, because it's a dangerous game if clubs are thinking, oh, well, you know, it's going to be this setup, and then, so we can't do this, we can't do that, we can't do this, and then they go, well, it's all changed, so, you know, we could have made changes around the team, and...
The clubs need to know, the fans need to know who bought season tickets already, what they're going to be watching, what they're going to be getting in that booklet, you know what I mean? And the players themselves, I mean, we've talked about the £1 million game before, and like the players that lose jobs when they lose that game, you know what I mean? It's their livelihoods on the line, and they don't know necessarily what's going to happen next year, whether they're going to... It's just not good. It's not a good look. I don't like to be negative, but it's not a good look. It needs sorting.
It's not a good look, but it is something that should hopefully be sorted.
Hopefully, yeah. I won't be optimistic about that. Hopefully this is the start of something, but...
It's all this... As I say, it's the time to launch itself, really, and to get that identity in the public eye, and, you know, Draper stepping down as the commercial officer, like, it opens up the door, as you said, for that role, for someone to come in and, you know, push the boat out more. And I'd say the Betfred sponsorship of the top 3 leagues kind of does that, because that is a big positive.
That is a big positive that came out of this week.
I think a lot of, like, seeing a few people saying, you know, like, we don't want the whole betting companies, like, and then company, I don't know, cash converters at St Helens was met with a lot of stick, and it's sort of, you know, people saying, oh, we don't want these sponsorships, but the sport needs them in a way, and the Betfred one is absolutely huge, and
the sport needs money.
You know,
people need to understand that the sport needs money.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day,
it comes from anywhere.
Exactly. And I did see a little bit about Betfred this week, a few little comments about betting companies now got the monopoly, because they do. They've got Super League, Championship League 1, and also Ladbrokes have the Challenge Cup as well. And yeah, I understand that, but no one said anything about Kingston Press, an alcohol company, a cider company, sponsoring the Championship the last 3-4 years. So I don't see... It's a step sideways, perhaps, but it's not a step up or down. Well, it's a step up because, by all accounts, Betfred are actually paying more than Kingston Press did. So I can only see it as positive for me. Yeah,
for me, I think, you know, we're not in a position where we can pick and choose between sponsors of that stature, really. You know, if we was a Premier League who could be like, oh, well, you want to sponsor us, you know, we've got all these teams that are global brands, Super League isn't a patch on the Premier League.
No.
So I think if someone comes to us and says, right, we'll give you more money than these, take it or leave it, we're always going to take it.
The Betfair one is a win-win for me, because one, like I say, it's more money than Kingston Press are offering. And frankly, it looks like there's going to be no sponsorship at all this year, which would have been a little bit shameful again. And the other thing with Betfred as well is they have a massive presence online, across social media and things like that, and they were very, very good. They didn't have to be necessarily, but with Super League last year, I thought they were very, very good. Across Twitter, Facebook, all the platforms, did a lot to, like, raise the awareness of the game. And I think if they can, obviously they're not going to put the same time and effort into Championship League One as they are going to Super League, but even just something, because
Yeah.
the lower leagues, we both know, the lower leagues get nothing, do they?
Like, you think about it, even like one or two mentions across the season, you know, like
Yeah.
highlights of a game online or something like that, just clips of
It's something.
it's something online, giving it a presence, and you know, if one or two people start picking up on that, and then it's that snowball domino effect sort of thing, you know, that's how it gets out there.
Of course
and
it is. I mean,
hopefully
I wouldn't,
it will.
I wouldn't know how many Twitter followers Betfred have. We're talking hundreds of thousands.
Yeah.
If you pick up maybe 5,000 new fans over the year, it's well worth it.
Yeah.
1,000 new fans, it doesn't matter. It's well, even if they're just going to watch on Sky and not necessarily go to a game, it's something.
Yeah.
It's something. So, as much as it's a week of positive and negatives, isn't it? I think they've kind of outweighed each other a little bit, and need a little bit of certainty around. But, the Betfred things, I like that.
I think overall what we're trying to say is all the changes can be good.
Potentially.
Just at the moment, with all the uncertainty, it needs to be sorted for everyone to have a proper idea of what's going on.
Yes.